What's up, Synthaholics? I'm Stephen Learson, and welcome to another edition of Synthesizer Show and Tell. On each episode, I challenge myself to write one piece of music with one synth from my collection and share some tips and tricks on how to use the instrument. My good friend Jules Jensen was kind enough to lend me a relic from a time when the synth world was the Wild West. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the Korg Polyphonic Ensemble P. I did a lot of preparation for this video, digging around online, and I found that there just wasn't enough video footage or audio recordings or information in general on this synth, so I thought it deserved a two-part series. So this first video, I'm going to go more into the history of the synth and its features, and then in the next video, I'm going to do more sound design. The Korg Polyphonic Ensemble P was produced in Japan from 1976 to 1979 or 80, which means that this synth in my studio could very well be 44 years old. Needless to say, Korg built this thing to last. So it's similar to the Krumar Orchestrator in that it's built into its own case and it has a detachable lid. And because of this, it weighs in at 41 pounds and it's built like a tank. One awesome feature is that this synth is fully polyphonic. Now, what I mean by that is you can play all 60 notes at the exact same time, like this. It has an interesting architecture because instead of using divide down oscillator technology, this synth has one oscillator per voice, that is, per key on the keyboard. So you can play as many notes at a time as you want, but you do have to share when it comes to articulation. Now, some people might call this paraphonic, but synth companies have defined paraphony differently over the years, so I'd rather not use that term. In fact, I found out there are actually two filters on this synth. One controls the lower 3 octaves, and then the other filter controls the higher 4 octaves. I'll demonstrate. If you have a look around the back, you will see there is one mono output. Next to that is a sustain pedal port, a glide foot switch port, and finally a port for the mysterious Traveler expression pedal. So let's go over the front panel and see if we can unlock some of the mysteries of the polyphonic ensemble. If we look all the way over on the left, we have volume and a fine tune, which the fine tune goes up a half step or down a half step. Then the next section is the Traveler section, which is basically a low pass filter and a high pass filter. Which, man, that high pass filter is super special. Then we have peak L and peak H, which for the low pass and high pass filter is basically a resonance. Woo! And then next we have the soft knob, which softens the sound. And we have the expand knob, which in the manual says it softens the color of the sound. All right, so then next, let's look at the envelope generator. We have attack, decay, sustain, and mode. So with the attack all the way back, the attack all the way up, not too long of an attack, but it sounds nice. Then we have decay. You can get those shorter sounds. And then finally we have sustain, but in order to get any sustain, you have to bring the decay up.
And then finally we have our mode section, which is a very slim pulse. Slightly slim pulse. Square wave. Sawtooth wave. And chorus, which I think is just a sawtooth with a chorus effect on it. The next section we'll get into is the preset section. So we have reed with variable attack, it says. Pipe organ. And you can affect these with the filter. And then we have brass. Electric piano. Piano. Harpsichord. And clavichord. And finally, control, which allows you to control all these parameters freely. Moving on to the next section, we have the octave coupler, which will give you an octave above. And let's move to the final section, which has vibrato depth and speed. And then here is a really cool feature, which is the pitch expand, which will allow you to move out of the tempered scale with it all the way down and all the way up. Woo! And then throw the octave coupler. You can hear how the octave coupler is not affected by the pitch expander. So you can really get these kind of detuned sounds. And then if we throw some vibrato depth in, we can really get out there. The last section I'm going to show you is the glide section, which is really cool and unique. It's not like portamento that you'll see on other synthesizers where the note will slide from one to the next note you play. This feature works a little differently. What you're going to do is plug an expression pedal or a damper pedal into the glide input. And then depending on where you set the knob, when you move the expression pedal or damper pedal down, it will slide the notes that you're playing to that spot.
So there's a quick overview of the features and sounds of the Korg Poly-Ensemble P. I think it's just an awesome synth. It's got a lot of character and a lot of hands-on and feet-on capabilities. I wish I had the Traveler expression pedal to demo for you, but unfortunately she is not with us anymore. But I'll be back with part 2 next Monday, and I'll take a deeper dive into the sounds and capabilities that this synth can make. And if you like this video, please subscribe, ring the notification bell, let me know what you think in those comments, and I'll be back with some fresh, geeky synth material every Monday. All right, I'm going to play some more. We'll see you around.